though, about the CCP's infiltration, the pressure they put on business, and what they do to really get their way with us, because this is far deeper than just Judy Chu. And I want people to know it's far deeper than just certain people that have come, either Chinese Americans or people who come from the mainland that are still in the service of the CCP. This is American citizens, business, academia, the titans of Wall Street, the oligarchs in Silicon Valley. Colonel Grant Newsham.
Well, thank you. Well, the Chinese have been very successful and for a very long time, effectively using proxies, Americans, to really further Chinese interests. But what am I talking about here? Particularly Wall Street, the business class. They effectively, smell Chinese money, and this has been going on for 30, 40 years. And what they do is they have made sure that the American government really never cracks down on the Chinese Communist Party. They were instrumental in getting China into the World Trade Organization in the early 2000s, and that has really opened the floodgates, hollowed out American manufacturing, moved it to China. And what this also did was open us up to the fentanyl crisis, the fentanyl assault from the Chinese Communist Party, which is killing upwards of 70,000 Americans a year. But it is that co-opting of America's financial class, its business class, who think they absolutely have to be in China. And that has caused, really America to back off and really to let China have a free run. And, who would I cite for this? Well, I go down any of the Wall Street firms. And, I've been reading their analysis for 20 years, and well, you probably have too. And the number of times I have heard anyone say, investing money into a country that doesn't have a legal system, where a contract means exactly what the dictator says, it's a capricious dictatorship. Its intention is to put foreign businesses, American businesses, out of business and have Chinese companies replace them. Nobody ever says this is a bad place to put your money. And that is wildly successful when you get people, these proxies, who think what they are doing makes sense and that it's statesmanlike and that it's in America's interest. You've really hit a grand slam, and you have to give the Chinese some credit for that. The U.S.-China Business Council, if you want to look at that, just look at some of their statements. And it's effectively shilling for the United States. They've gotten parts of the U.S. military. Academia is pretty much in the bag. All you have to do is offer a nice donation to a China center and send in a lot of full tuition paying Chinese students. But back to the military, just to give you an example of how bad it was, and it's gotten better, but still there's plenty of people who are just desperate to engage with China. In 2009, the commander of U.S. Indo-PACOM, Admiral Thomas Keating, was visiting China, and he was asked, and he said, I'd be glad to help the Chinese develop aircraft carriers. I don't see anything wrong with it. It's basically what he said. Begging your pardon, this was in 2009, and by then it was very clear what the Chinese had in mind. So this is, you can see, get a sense of the scope, the breadth of the Chinese really subversion of otherwise right-thinking Americans, but pretty much all you have to do, and the financial and business classes, is wave some money at them, and unfortunately, most of them will perform like a sea lion at SeaWorld who thinks he's going to get a mackerel snack. And keep in mind that this is the donor class. These are the people who contribute to Capitol Hill, to congressmen and senators for their campaigns, and they have immense power, as is well known. Even the Trump administration, which had some of the best advisors on China ever, they were fighting this internal battle against the Wall Street, the business class, really representatives, front men in the administration, and it was probably as fierce a fight as they were fighting against the Chinese.